We recently kicked off the MBA application series by MER students with their valuable tips on GMAT GRE. I'm excited to share the second video in the series, which brings you real stories and actionable advice from two of our former students. The upcoming video focuses on application strategy, planning, and preparation, a vital phase in the application journey. In this video, you will hear directly from Shailesh, INSEAD MBA, class of 2023, and Mahesh, HKUST MBA, class of 2023. They both received scholarships from their respective schools. They will share how they built a strong application strategy from setting the timelines, prioritizing test prep, to researching schools, and choosing the right consultant. So let's get started. Shailesh, can you share your application strategy, planning, and preparation?
Yes. Before starting for making an application to any business school, we need to put some time for thinking, definitely, that how we want to start. And when I started my process, and as I made a decision like, okay, I'll go ahead with INSEAD, the only business school I want to apply for, and I want to get in that business school, I look at the application form, the first thing I did. And then I realized like, okay, there are like 6 essays that I have to fill in the form. I have to write 6 essays. And the word limitation was only 300 words.
Yeah.
And the question was very much open type of question. And it is up to the individual or the candidate how much you want to write. But it has to be more sort of sound like clear, concise, and compelling. That is what the meaningful essay is. And these things were coming in my mind, and gradually, also at the same time, I looked at like, okay, they need more GMAT or executive assessment or INSEAD assessment scores. So need to prepare for those exams and those tests as well was another challenge. And especially it gets very challenging because when you are in a full-time work and you have to juggle through your work, your family time, writing essays, preparing for GMAT. So that is why I had to think and I had to plan. Right. And the first thing I did was like, okay, I need to sort of explore like where I'm wasting my time and more sort of, and where I can gain more time to put towards essay writing and towards the GMAT preparation. So considering all these things in my mind, I started with GMAT preparation. And for that, actually, I used to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, and that is the best time. And I think this is nothing new for any one of us because there's so many books why we have to wake up in the morning. And to be honest, I didn't read those books, but I realized like, okay, that is the morning time is the best time. Initially, it was a challenge for us, but to inspire myself, what I did is like, last time when I went to INSEAD Business School, I bought a handbag with INSEAD logo on that. And I just stick that in the wall in front of me in my bedroom. So morning, whenever the alarm rings, wakes me up, I look at that INSEAD, I say like, oh yes, I need to do this.
I have to get there.
Yes, I have to get there. And to be honest, it's a good feeling. Initially, it was a more sort of like, oh, more time, more sort of like you ask your questions, am I doing the right thing? Because sometimes we feel lazy. But anyways, it was a more sort of a motivation and inspiration for me. So morning I used to start studying for GMAT and all that. And evening also I spent some time on studying. And then the next challenge was, okay, looking for someone to help me with those essays, someone to coach me. So I joined GMAT Club, where I found a number of MBA consultants. But gradually looking at the ratings, and I was studying, going through every feedback and all that, and I came across you, Poonam, to be honest, MER, um, my essays review, and I read the feedback, and I thought like, and at that point of time, I made my mind is like, okay, the moment I get the score after that, definitely I'm going to approach you, no one else.
Thank you so
And
much.
I won't lie, I went to Fortuna admissions, I went to what is that, lab, applicant lab, because based on so many recommendations were there on GMAT Club, anyone will get confused.
Exactly.
But for me, it was like I wanted someone to coach me, more experienced, more recognized, right? And someone who understands me at a personal level.
Right.
Professional level, anyone can understand, but the thing is like it is a personal level because it is our thoughts, it is our thinking, and the feelings that we are putting in those essays. So yeah, after considering all those facts, definitely Poonam, and that is how this was more sort of my strategy at the beginning, was preparing for the GMAT and doing this thing. And gradually I approached you. We had our first meeting for 1 hour, 1 hour, I guess, yes. And I was quite amazed, like whatever I was saying, you just took notes of everything, whatever I said on that our first interview.
Wow.
And you did. And after that, you explained everything very clearly. And you encouraged me that yeah, I should reflect everything in my essay. And I was worried. I remember I said like, but it has got a word limit, 300. You said like, Shailesh, you write it, rest leave it to me, I will guide you through it, and I will suggest you, I will coach you. And that gave me a big confidence, and that is how I believe we started working together
Right.
from that day.
I had
And
you.
yeah, sorry.
I had confidence in you. I knew you
Thank
have
you.
potential, you have everything that the school is looking for. So you only had to put it down on paper. Key takeaways from Shailesh's strategy are: number one, set a goal for yourself. Number two, prioritize test prep and follow a solid plan. Number three, research consultants and select the one who understands you well. Can you please share your application
Yeah,
strategy, planning, and preparation with our viewers?
yeah, yes, for sure, ma'am. Um, I think for starters, I think I wouldn't even say it is as step zero. I would call this as step -1, which is to start as early as possible.
Exactly.
That is something. Yeah, that is something. I think I was really glad that I reached out to you with enough time in hand. Otherwise, I don't think it would have worked out the way it would have, because if to put numbers into perspective, because everyone who listens to this understands numbers. So it really could take 2 to 3 weeks for a good application for a single college. Now. This is all irrespective of rounds. In general, it could take 2 to 3 weeks. So you need to start early so that you understand, so that you give enough time for each of your applications. Now, if you're applying to one college or so, or max maybe two colleges in a round, that is still okay. So starting maybe a month or month and a half is fine. But if you're applying to 3, 4 colleges, you need to plan ahead, and you need to give in like a 2 months prior preparation kickstart, so that you give each college the time that it requires, because each application for all reasons is unique. So that's the first thing. You need to start early, and then there is good amount of introspection that each of us need to go through, which is largely to find out I'm using my term first language, where I wanted to be, and what I wanted to do. These are two very, very important things. Even if I don't do a research on this, the second person I talk to, that's the first question. So the first question that I got from you was, what are you looking for, where all are you going to apply, and what do you want to do, like what MBA, what are you like planning to do after this, because that's the first question that most colleges also ask. So those are two things that those two formulate your step zero according to me, which is where I want to be and what I want to do. Once you get that, I believe then it's about figuring out what colleges fit into each of these. You need to, so I wanted to, again, as I mentioned, I wanted to get into tech. So the colleges that I applied to were really tech, were strong, had good, strong tech programs. At the same time, had their MBA programs focusing on tech. So that was really strategic in that. And then figuring out where I wanted to apply to. So I was very strategic about Asia. At the same time, few colleges in the US, because those are colleges that I've always dreamt about since childhood for all reasons. So I was strategic about Asia. But along with that, I had two colleges in the US also, a couple of colleges in the US that I was really, that those were dream colleges. So that's how. So again, where and what follows that. And then as I mentioned before, try not to take a hit on the quality, because brand matters. At the same time, you need to educate, because you're putting your best foot for your education. The quality of education really matters. So that is another thing. So if it requires of you to maybe wait 8 months to get your best application out, I would say that's better than taking a hit on the quality of education. So that is still fine. And then above all, I believe once. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So, above, I think once you figure out which college you want to apply to, I think it really matters that for us to feel more connected to the college, it matters that we attend few events. So there will be multiple, marketing mails that you end up getting. You just need to sign up or create a profile in each of these colleges, and you're going to get mails about events that they're conducting. So joining them, you can easily give you few it's not generally inside information, but few actual custom information about those colleges. Those are which will really matter in you writing your application. So few things that are very, very specific to that college. Like for example, HKUST is really looking into transforming their MBA program through technology. And that is, when you go to the site, you can see it right in front of you as to how they have kept their dialogue for the MBA. The business meets technology and terms such as so. Those are really catching for me. And I wouldn't have gone through or understood that, or at least come across that, had I not attended one of their sessions. So they just started talking about it, and then I went to the site and figured out that, oh, they are actually, this is what they are really into. They want to do this. So attending events as such really, really matter. And then, because that helps you be in the loop of what that college is expecting. And if there is a change in the essay, they call out that in their admission program, that event, and then why so, and so on, and what they're expecting. You could also hear a few alums talk about it, few current students talk about it. It's a good way to figure out what is the vibe of that college or that program that you're looking forward to attend. And then one very, very important step is figuring out if you really need help with your application. You could be a good writer, but here it's all about storytelling and calling out what is actually required to be called out, which is where, ma'am, you were the savior for me. So I again, through GMAT Club, I got to know about you. I reached out to you. I was so glad that you picked me from the lot of people that you received. So that was the first thing that made me happy, that you actually picked working with me. And then the way in which we interacted first. Yeah. So the way in which we went about it. So first we had an introductory call. So we got to know each other, and then you got to know what I'm aiming for. We got good clarity of thought, and then we started working on applications. And for each application, we went back and forth multiple times. I had to mail you, and I would get a response immediately. I don't think I ever asked you, ma'am, are we getting delayed or something, because you were always ahead of me and I had to play catch up with you. So which was so it kept me on my feet, because I knew I was hitting timelines at the same time at work and for the application. But given that you were pushing me, it was really important for me to also keep my best foot forward. And the biggest thing that I got from you, ma'am, was clarity in thought. So for every question, I had 3-4 things in my head as to what I should be writing, but you helped me figure out which is that one or two that matter, and why the other two aren't as important as the first two. So it is about convincing. So that, which is what makes you a great storyteller, ma'am. So you helped me with that, and that is really important. Yeah. So that is really important, I feel, because your application is the only way in which you get to give your best foot to the admission committee, unless you make, because that's the first step. Then you get your interview. So interview also is based on your application, the application that you send across. So that's the only avenue for you to give your best impression. And in that, you want to put your best story, you want to put your best self up front. And for that, if you are not confident, it is to put it, people could be, but I wasn't. So I reached out for help, and I got the best help that I could ask for. The other thing, so basically again, overall, it's about figuring out if you really need help. And if you need help, you should definitely take it to give your best in the application. And finally, I think I called out earlier, and it really matters. You can read as much as possible about colleges. It's about doing good research,
School research.
because ultimately it matters if the college or the program that you're picking is really going to cater to what you actually need. Which is why the which and the where and what I want to do is really important. So I cannot stress enough on how that is really important. No matter how you can ask others for opinion, in the end it is you who is going to go through it, and it is you who will finally be the one making all the moves.
Very
So
true.
we need to do that we need to do that introspection enough to have that conviction to figure out that, yeah, this is why I want to do this. And then it's good to have conversations and tweak it accordingly and take others' opinion. But it really matters about having your own opinion and your own thoughts.
Yeah, I really like that point, that it's you who have to go to the school. So you should be
Correct.
convinced why you
Yeah.
want to go to that school, of course. Key takeaways from Mahesh's strategy are: number one, start early and allocate each school sufficient time. Number two, reflect on your experiences and craft your narrative. Number three, attend events and speak with current students and alumni. Number four, choose a consultant who is aligned with your needs. To sum up, the top 6 application strategy tips are: start early and stay focused. Number two, prioritize test prep, prepare a plan, and follow it. Number three, reflect on your experiences and craft your narrative. Number four, articulate your goals. Number five, research programs thoroughly to assess your fit. Number six, find a consultant who is your right fit. You will find links to Shailesh and Mahesh's LinkedIn profiles and full interviews with their transcripts in the description. Stay tuned to our next video, where 2 more students will share how they turned their round 1 failure to round 2 success. Until then, bye. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified for upcoming videos. Thank you. Bye.